My older brother stole my identity and destroyed my credit, so I made sure he spent his 30s rebuilding his own life from prison. Danny was always the favorite, star athlete, prom king, the son my parents bragged about at every family gathering. I was the quiet one. Good grades nobody celebrated, achievements nobody noticed. When Danny's football career ended with a blown knee, our parents paid for his apartment, his car, his lifestyle. When I needed help with college, they said I should take out loans. I worked 3 jobs to graduate debt-free, built my credit carefully, saved every penny. At 26, I applied for my first mortgage. Denied. My hands were shaking reading the letter. I pulled my credit report expecting a mistake. What I found was destruction. 18 credit cards opened in my name over 4 years. $127,000 in debt. Collections accounts I'd never heard of. A car loan for a vehicle I'd never driven. Every account traced back to addresses where Danny had lived. My own brother had been stealing my identity since I was 22. I called him immediately, asked what he'd done. He laughed, said I wasn't using my credit anyway, that he needed it more than I did, that I should be grateful he'd kept up minimum payments for so long, grateful for destroying my financial future. I told him I was going to the police. He laughed again, said I'd never do that to family, that mom and dad would never forgive me. That's when I decided Danny would learn exactly what I would do. I filed a police report the next morning. Identity theft, fraud, criminal impersonation. The detective was thorough, pulled records from every fake account, found Danny's fingerprints on original applications, matched his handwriting to forged signatures. Danny had been sloppy because he never thought I'd fight back, but I wasn't finished. I pulled phone records showing Danny had intercepted mail at my parents' house, found where he'd set up a P.O. box using my name, discovered he'd even filed fake tax returns to get refunds deposited into accounts he controlled. The federal charges stacked up fast. Tax fraud, mail fraud, wire fraud, identity theft across state lines. Danny got arrested at his gym, still wearing his workout clothes when they put him in handcuffs. My parents called me screaming, said I destroyed the family, that Danny made mistakes but didn't deserve prison. I asked them if they'd help me rebuild the $127,000 in damage he'd caused. They went silent. I told them their golden child had been stealing from me for 4 years while they looked the other way, that every time they'd bragged about his lifestyle, they'd been bragging about my stolen credit. We haven't spoken since. Perfect. The trial was quick. Danny's lawyer tried to argue he'd planned to pay everything back, that it was just a loan between brothers. The prosecutor showed the jury 18 credit cards maxed out on vacations and electronics and dinners I'd never enjoyed. Danny got 6 years, federal. I spent those 6 years rebuilding, disputing every fraudulent account, fixing every credit report, slowly climbing back from the hole my brother had dug. I bought my house last spring, the one I'd been denied 5 years earlier. Danny got out last month, living in a halfway house now. Can't get a credit card, can't rent an apartment, can't get a job that requires background checks. He's starting over at 34 with nothing. I'm 31 with everything I built myself. My parents still send Christmas cards, still pretend nothing happened, still mention how hard things are for Danny now. I throw them away unopened. Some brothers look out for each other. Some brothers look out for themselves at your expense. Danny learned what happens when the quiet one stops being quiet. I hope those 6 years were worth the vacations he took on my name. Something tells me they weren't.